Welcome back to Lil Movie Recaps. Today we explore the 2020 sci-fi thriller Voyagers. Earth is on the brink of collapse. In 2063, scientists discover a new planet capable of sustaining human life. A woman explains that this planet is a viable option for colonization, but emphasizes the need for a scouting mission. The journey will take 86 years, requiring the crew to reproduce during the voyage, ensuring the third generation will reach the planet. The crew is genetically engineered on Earth, combining leading scientists' DNA. A man explains that this design ensures the crew can manage the mission. Raised and trained exclusively for this purpose, the children's readiness to embark is the next consideration. Launching with a younger crew preserves ship resources longer. But Richard, the project overseer, worries they may not be fully prepared for solo space travel. Richard visits the facility where the young crew is being raised, suiting up in protective gear before entering their living quarters. The children greet him with excitement. Richard reviews their educational progress and tucks Christopher, Salah, and Zach into bed. Zach expresses his fears, but Richard reassures him, ensuring his safety. Richard proposes to the mission leader that he accompany the children on the journey, ensuring their safety and allowing for an earlier launch in 4 years. The mission begins with Richard in command. The shuttle docks with Humanitas, the designated ship. The crew settles into their quarters and Richard takes a final glance at Earth. 10 years pass, and the children have grown into adults. They begin their daily routines on the ship, starting with a lesson on fertilization for the second generation. Scheduled to begin at age 24, the crew performs their tasks mechanically with a sense of routine. They consume a blue liquid as part of their daily regimen. Meanwhile, Christopher and Zach enjoy classical music. While Selah contemplates the vastness of space, Selah confides in Richard about her doubts regarding the purpose of their lives. Richard attempts to reassure her by sharing pictures of his grandparents, emphasizing the importance of securing the future. Later that night, Christopher lies awake, listening to the ship's sounds, his mind restless. The next day, Christopher discovers a toxicity warning in the hydroponics bay, prompting him to question Richard about the chemical's origin. Richard downplays his concerns, but Christopher remains skeptical. He and Zach investigate further, uncovering the truth. The blue liquid they've been drinking contains a chemical that suppresses desires and emotions, making them easier to control. The duo decides to stop drinking the liquid and shares their discovery with Kai and Julie, including information about a hidden compartment on the ship. Christopher confronts Richard about the lies mentioning the hidden compartment, Pod 23. Richard defends the mission, suggesting it's for the third generation. Post-confrontation, Richard sends a message to Earth, seeking permission to reveal the truth to maintain crew trust. However, the message's transmission delay means a response will take time to arrive. Christopher experiences a sudden attraction to Selah, and Zach notices a change in her too. Tensions rise as Christopher and Zach engage in a fierce fight in the gym. As they stop taking the suppressant drug, they start to feel its absence. Strange noises on the ship prompt them to investigate, leading to a discovery in an observation room. With a fellow crew member, they speculate about the noise's origin, including the possibility of an alien life form. Selah visits Richard's office where he shows her dried earth plants. Zach and Christopher eavesdrop, noticing Richard's gentle touch on Selah's shoulder, which sparks Zach's jealousy. The crew suddenly loses contact with Earth, and Richard explains that the transmitter requires repairs. Zach steps forward to assist with the repairs while the others resume their duties. Zach inappropriately touches Selah, prompting Richard to intervene and demand an explanation. Zach flees, and Richard later discovers that Zach and Christopher have stopped taking the blue liquid. Richard confronts Christopher, explaining the drug's purpose in preventing aggressive behavior. He asks Christopher to help repair the transmitter to contact Earth and address their concerns. As the crew prepares for a spacewalk, Zach enters the systems room, while Richard and Christopher venture outside. Christopher experiences new sensations, and Richard supervises closely. During repairs, an unknown entity appears on screen, striking Richard and sending him drifting away. The ship malfunctions and a fire erupts in the systems room. Christopher rescues Richard, but despite Selah's medical efforts, Richard succumbs to his injuries. Selah pronounces him dead. The crew gathers to discuss Richard's death, mentioning strange noises and a possible alien force. Emotions run high, but Christopher reassures them that Unity will see them through. With systems rebooted, they check surveillance footage, only to find it erased due to the fire. A new leader must be elected, and Zach nominates himself, but the crew demands a vote. Christopher is elected as the new chief officer, sparking Zach's jealousy, though he congratulates him begrudgingly. Christopher prioritizes repairing the transmitter and assigns the crew to fix other damaged areas. Sela explores Richard's personal archive, hesitant to destroy it as instructed. Christopher joins her, and they discuss the importance of family. Sela reveals Richard shared his life with her due to loneliness. Together, they watch Richard's video diary, where he expresses his dedication to the mission and care for the crew. Christopher finds the crew neglecting their duties, but Zach convinces him to join a celebratory feast. Afterward, Kai persuades the others to stop taking the blue liquid. Christopher and Sela bond over Richard's videos, while Zach becomes infatuated with Julie. The crew's playful antics escalate and they invade Richard's quarters. Sela, feeling uneasy, asks them to leave, but Zach's parting warning prompts her to arm herself with a scalpel in the medbay. Christopher follows Zach, concerned for Sela's safety, and arrives at the medbay first. When Zach appears, Christopher pretends to be intimate with Sela, prompting Zach to leave. However, Sela misinterprets Christopher's actions and threatens him with a scalpel. He clarifies his intentions, and Sela urges him to focus on controlling the increasingly unruly crew. Christopher warns Zach to stay away from Sela, and they investigate the strange noise. Meanwhile, Kai's jealousy boils over and he attacks a crew member. Chaos erupts, but Christopher eventually restores calm, calling a meeting to emphasize unity and repairs. Zach questions Christopher's authority, but he rallies the crew, focusing on their future generations and the mission's purpose. Christopher retrieves the surveillance drive and shares it with Sela, revealing Zach and Kai's shocking truth. They murdered Richard and fabricated the alien story. They keep this discovery secret, hiding the drive in Sela's room. Christopher confides his concerns about the crew's reaction, but Sela reassures him. As they grow closer, they spend the night together, forming a deeper bond. Zach invites Christopher and Sela to a celebration, where he declares himself the new leader. However, Christopher exposes Zach's lies, using the surveillance footage. Zach confesses, claiming he killed Richard to protect the crew from an alleged alien. He manipulates the crew into believing the alien is among them, sparking paranoia and violence. The crew turns on each other, targeting and killing a medbay crew member. Christopher's group retreats while Zach's group arms themselves. Christopher searches for a hidden weapons compartment, but Zach's group discovers him and takes the weapons. Two of Christopher's members defect to Zach's side. Christopher, Sela, and Phoebe devise a plan to confront Zach, but Phoebe is killed. Christopher and Sela escape, evade Zach's group, and hide an event. Zach finds them and opens fire, but they manage to escape again. Christopher uses a fire extinguisher to defend himself against Kai in the medbay, accidentally killing him. Zach corners Christopher and Sela in an airlock, but Sela puts on a spacesuit, and Christopher covers the window. When Zach shoots, the hatch opens, and he's sucked into space. Christopher is also pulled out, but Sela rescues him, kicking Zach away and pulling Christopher back inside. After Zach's death, the crew reunites and works together in harmony. Sela becomes pregnant with Christopher's child, and the baby is born. Years pass, and the child grows up alongside others. As the first generation ages, the younger ones prepare for their new home. After 86 years, Humanitas finally reaches the destination planet, and the crew looks forward to their new beginning. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be the first to know about new movie summaries.